Yeah, me let it go. Go, 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 go. Oh, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give it all to Jesus. Let it take control. Just sit and watch it. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to it. You have to let go. Your best friend is not your secret anything. Let go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if they say you will continue to be a soul, if they say you will continue to be a prostitute, if they say you will continue to be a beggar, you will not marry, you will not bear your own children. If they say your need is borrow, some they go to meeting, mommy can say no, Johnny Ginger. Just let it go. Jesus will change your story. Let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go, man.
Mighty blow. Holla, holla. Nobody do it like you do it. You a true God. Yes. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. But Jenna said, if they planted in this new world, we devour every day. That while I'm still a good boy. Jehovah bigger than your problem, so just let it go. Just keep on praying. He will make your blessing overflow. To be the best and more the rest, you gotta pray more. The God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the God of mighty blow. But there is power in your blood. I want to give you praises. Yes. I gotta dance that David did. They think I'm getting crazy. But love is how you make it, brother. May not be. He say every time I sing, I'm on my knees, begging God for mercy. Thank you for your God, blessing and forgiveness. You solved my problem, Lord. You took me from the wilderness. Now only you can see my struggle when I'm very stressed. So my papa bless me, then my enemy they get the best. No matter what the problem is, man, just let it go. The delay is not your denial. Everybody know. Just keep on trusting in Jehovah. He will give you more. He took me from the grass. He can take you from the rock and roll. Yeah.
Let it go, let it go, oh let it go, let it go. Lord help me let it go. Your people are suffering, lying in the hospital, suffering from all kinds of sickness, Lord. Lord help them. That sickness that reviving you, I say, let it go. The barrenness, pack your load and go. Living the life of joblessness. Let it go. I say you spirit of suppression. Let it go. Spirit of denial, spirit of depression. Let it go, man. Oh, I'm tired. I can do it. If you begin, take your chemo. Let it go. Your best friend, take your husband. Let it go.
Good evening.
I said we are not compatible. Let it go. Your husband say you no matter, babe. Just let it go.
All right, today is the independence of Liberia. So, no matter where you are, let us all celebrate this date. And so we should let go, not too much of politics, but we can talk to our government, state actors to know exactly who they are and what they can do for the good of the country.
Fatherless, let it go. Let it go. Mama, let it go, yeah. Papa, let it go.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see.
Somebody say yeah, for the presence of my God is about to success. Okay, folks, good afternoon, good evening to Liberia, and so right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our followers across the globe, Liberians. We say happy Independence Anniversary to the President, His Excellency Dr. George Weah, the government and the people of Liberia, the gallant men and women of the armed forces, the paramilitary personnel, the officials of government, and the citizenry. We want to say a happy Independence Anniversary. No matter what it is, our country is our country, and wherever we find ourselves, it is also important that we celebrate this day to take a reflection and make some prediction. What could possibly be the outcome of our country? The entire world is in a chaos everywhere. So it's not going to be like a milk and honey, but we can figure out a way where conversation in a civil context can be held to take a look and to take a review on some of these things that are happening in our country and what we can do. Yes, we can hold our government accountable. We ourselves must also be held accountable of our action, things that we do, things that we say. Is give and take. So it's not a one-way street. We have to do everything possibly we can. So we want to welcome you this afternoon, and it's high to talk about a sovereign nation with how you say you're going to incite politics will be undue. So for those of you joining us here, Liberians and friends of Liberia, we say happy Independence Anniversary. I want to have a conversation with the country, with you, our viewers and followers. And for if any reason you are properly located and you think you want to come out here on those live video screen, just shoot your emails on the part that we're going to bring you in, any other person to talk about your country. Let's take a reflection. 174 Independence Anniversary. There are a lot of unanswered questions, yes, and there are a lot to go. We have not even gone there here. The greater United States of America, they also have their own things that they are doing. But let us take a little bit of breath. Can we communicate with the government? Do we also have a shared responsibility as a people to make sure that the country is okay? By that, our actions, things that we do, things that we say, and things that we throw out there, because the conspiracy theory is also here taking today in the 21st century, the media, the remakings of the media, people try to define, and they are being very successful because they have their own base or people that listen to them. Typical example, what is happening here in the US up to this point in time, even despite of the death, and even professionals, healthcare professionals are saying the COVID is scientific, it's real. People are still in denial. I was listening to CNN this morning. There's a guy, I believe it's in Missouri, one of these hotspots. And this person is dying, and they are not even, they're refusing to take the vaccine. And one of the other cases here, according to the news, when I got there, doctor said it was late. So it means we are at a crossroad, the entire world. Is everything purely correct in Liberia? No. Even in the USA? No. But we need to figure out a way to see how we can have these conversations to move the country forward. Yes, we can hold our leaders accountable, but we should bring them to the point where they will understand, where they will accommodate conversations, dialogue. Because when you create a situation where you want where leaders or any other person to distance from you, it makes it very difficult to find a common ground. Let's put aside leaders as well. Say you have a disagreement with your friend or any other person. How do you do that? You have to create a conversation. And that's conversation, it has to be done in a civil context. You can't curse me. You can't say things, outrageous things, and you say you want to get in a conversation. No, I will punch in your mouth. And that's how it looks like. Yes, we question and we question the leaders to be tolerant. But we ourselves must also have that responsibility in things that we alter so that they will see the different side of it. I'll tell you, for most of the folks that work in government and people who are working in government, if you hang up with real people, the government in a government society is a different world by itself. It is the entanglements in the government setting is different. By the time you get there, if you even try to be a change agent, there are folks who are there who will try to orientate you to the system that is there to say, hey, this system has been here for the life of the long. So my brother, my sister, don't waste your time. It will never be changed and you will never be listened to. So these are difficulties and ups and hills that are there that even if somebody wants to do something, I'm not arguing here the justifications on some of the bad policy or some of the bad things being put forward here. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying here, we as a Liberian, in or out, oppositions, government, advocates, we also have shared responsibilities to make sure to do the best we can to create a conversation tirelessly that somebody will listen to us and that will sit around the table that you can convince me. And by the way, I'm trying to identify with my country in my red and white here, which is a symbolic sign that today is the independence, and now we want to celebrate that as well. And I see a lot of projects, dedication. The president took a tour to our teams. They were embedded with the team. A lot is unfolding in the country. So it is important. I'm going to open the line here. Not too much of the blame game. We have enough room of time. But I want us to take a reflection a little bit. Let us reflect where we come from as a nation and where we are today. And let us make ourselves. Me as a citizen, am I contributing? What am I doing? Am I falling below the belt? Have I said something that offended somebody I never had a guts to even go back to say here? Or because you're an ordinary citizen, you think you can do anything and get away with it? And so we should strangulate the government. We should strangulate opposition. Advocates, you to also be held responsible, including myself, sit behind this microphone. If I come here and throw some sort of red meat out there, some news that is not correct, I'm creating a chaotic situation. People are going to take it. 1 or 2 person listen. They're going to also pass that on to other people that are listening and say, this is what I heard on LPR. This is what I heard from Alfonso So. And if it is a false news that was not verified, that is not authenticated, then I've also harmed my country. That's the situation that we have found ourselves in. And with the comment and how vast the social media has taken over the world, you saw what happens in the Arab Spring. Just one person, somebody, just something trickle, and that was it. So if we do not make wise of the social media, if we do not make wise of the time, the innovation, the creations of this young man, and we're blowing it off, I think that we are doing unfair to ourselves, and more or less, we are hurting the country. So we all, not one, all of us, being an ordinary person does not give you the easy pass that you should do crazy thing and you think because you're an ordinary person, then we should let you go. I think each and all of us, every one of us must be held accountable. This is the challenge. There are so many outlets. There are so many informative news outlet platforms, podcasts, whatever category you're going to put them in. There are some with managers. There are some without managers. There are some with professionals and ethical background. There are some they are not. And there are categories. There are some basically for entertainment purposes, and some there for amusement. And there's other there for strictly for informational purposes, observing the principles and the ethics of journalism to make sure that the right thing is done, to creating fair and balanced, objective, proportionate information. So that when something is said about, let me use somebody as a case study, level tie change, or let's say Orlando tie Yinka, it says something I must be able to have the courage and reach to Orlando to say, hey, this is what I've heard, but I'm in the process of discussing it, but this is what I heard. What is your side of the story? And give Orlando the opportunity. If he or she refuses to answer, then you have the obligation to come and tell the audience as well, because you have extended that invitation to the accuser or to the alleged accuser of certain thing, and he or she denied your request. In that case, you have done to due diligence. And those that are in the prior study, when you were to ask veteran journalist, the doyen, Mr. James Gomian, formerly of the State Broadcasting Corporation, based in the land right here in New Jersey, who is now a senior contributor to the Liberia Public Radio, he will tell you the same. At least 3 sources. You don't hear A from one and you just run with it. So what is happening in today's world, even here in the USA here, let me digress here a little bit, take it from here, and then we see how what it is applicable, some of the things that are happening here, what is also going on in our own motherland, Liberia. If you listen to CNN, you get a different news. If you were to turn into Fox News channel, you're going to get a different news. The talking point there is different. When you listen to Wolf Blitzer and you turn on to Fox News and listen to Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity, and not to mention Bill Conahan, you're going to hear different news. When you go to Newsmax, you're going to hear different news. When you go to CBS, you're going to hear different news. This is the challenge. This is how the world looks like. And that's how it is in our own country. So if you listen to some of these talk show hosts, people that support the agendas of the government, the opposition, they all have their own talking point. The ability, the objectivity there is very minimum, because their goal there is to directly to communicate with their base, to solidify their base, to say what is going on in their base. Even if it is bad, they won't say it. So it has become a challenge to informative news outlet in terms of processing the news. Because I can say from what I've been saying and what I've observed so far, we Liberians, we are enticed with crazy news. Crazy. So these things have an impact, psychological, emotional, and they eventually turn into being put into action. So that's the challenge. And whatever you take in, the brain process it. And when the brain began to process it, all your nerves and everything began to sort of vibrate, and that sort of decision making becomes unbalanced. Should I do this? Should I say? Should I do that? Because you heard it and you want to bring it into reality. That's the challenge we are facing today. You come here, you hear different news. You go to Mr. Michael Gilmont, you're going to hear different news. You go to Prince Sherry, you're going to hear different news. So you turn into Yasini, you're going to hear different news. When you turn into Henry Costa, you're going to get different news. But majority have become so selective because there are specific things they want to hear. Not necessarily truth. Because they have already come to that conclusion. This is what is happening. This is what I want to hear. So it's already predetermined. This is where I want to go, because when I go there, this is what I want to hear. You saw the president here, Donald Trump, when he goes to certain states, there are people, there are certain things that he says, and it energizes the group. It solidifies his base. When you hear him, we want to take our country back, don't sit down there. These are another versions of what is going on, the challenge we are facing in our country today. And it is sad. It is sad because we also are contributing factors of the mischief that is ongoing. When the ruling establishment does its wrong, they're not going to come out to say it. They're going to be reconstructed. They're going to be modified. They're going to fine-tune it because it's one of their own. Equally, when it comes to the opposition, when it does it wrong, they will say no. It is right. In fact, it happened 2, 3, 5 years ago. Why now is an issue this present date? And so, certain people are caught in the middle. When those who take this profession serious, when they begin to point out these ills in society, these things are eating the fabric of our society, And people I unknowingly or pretend not to know when they know it is happening, and you want to speak about it, guess what? There's a stigma placed on you. They label you, they call you name. He's not one of us. He's not with us. He's an enemy of the state. In fact, he is a pay agent. So it has become a challenge within the media industry with the proliferations of all of these outlets that nobody has control. Government does not have. Even the great United States of America cannot sanction voices unless if it is some sort of a security threat. Then that's a different thing. That's when you're going to see the federal agent showing up. But somebody just saying their opinions, expressing their view, and people dive into it, people buy into it, it's a challenge. And then the processing of the news, the processing of that news, you eventually people act on it. Our country is 174 as a sovereign nation. Let us take a reflection. You as a citizen, me as a citizen, what have I done? What has been my contributions? I have helped to create chaos in the country. Do I sit down here and tell people things that are not factual because I've made that conclusion already before events surface? Are you calling and talking to your family members? Indeed, you need to take the vaccine? Or are you in a conspiracy world that the vaccine is not real? You saw the argument with Dr. Fauci and that about the Kentucky Senator to Rand Paul recently. I'm a news freak, so 24/7 I monitor cable news, whether on my phone, whether I'm home, wherever it is. Those notifications are there, I monitor it. So it is not just on it in Liberia, it's all over the place. But I can for sure tell you, these politicians, advocates, journalists, podcast hosts, commentators, we are all dishonest and we are not doing good. In that we do not have the guts to chastise, to call out one of our own when a wrong is being done. And when that happens, it hurts the society, it hurts the country. So all of these people that profess to be the right one, how many times have we not tried these people, guys? Let's have an honest conversation. How many times have we not heard, when I'm elected, when you elect me, when you give me the opportunity, I will fight for you. When they go there, they fight for themselves. Not for you. They will become so submissive when they are looking for that hardball. They will become so obedient. Some of them will lie flat on the floor. You will walk in their belly. Why? Because they have a political target. And so they do everything, they deploy every tactics that they will avoid answering some tough questions. This is why they choose to go to certain outlet, because there's an easy pass. They spoon feed them, they babysit them like a toddlers and give them oatmeal questions because they want to see their way through. So as the result, we have a lot unresolved. We know little or nothing about these people, just a minimum portion. And then we entrust them with state power. And because when they have state power, then they preside over the wealth of the country. And you know what it means when somebody have authority over state power. So as we observe this 174th independence, let us look deeper within ourselves, in the inner part of ourselves. Have I done anything, Kai, that I hurt this country? Directly, indirectly? Yes, we talk about war crime, this, that. We are involved. We all did some bad things, and we are still doing these bad things. But yet, when these things happen, we give justifications of our action. We put a defense line. We put out a word of Jericho to argue that we are right, or we are on the right side of history. That's just been this genuine. And so this year is challenging, but consistency, persistency, and being honest is what important. And we have to get an open question. I'm wondering why we are not even discussing to go back to these constitutions and look at some of the provisions that are there. Whether there's something that is there is also a recipe for all of these situations that we find ourselves in. I'm curious. I'm wondering why we should have people to be a senator, a representative for 6 years. Why? Why the president said because when these people are there, they're not going to move. 9 years. How much are they taking? You don't even go on the official website to tell you because you will hear all different figures. For those of you in the United States or other Western part here, if I were to go right here, I know where to go to know my state Congressman David Cicilline. I know exactly how much he makes. I know exactly Jack Reyes, the senator of Rhode Island. I know exactly where to go to get the information. Can you tell me inside, is there any outlet, any platform that you can go to find where the lawmakers are in the country are they making? Okay, let's leave it right there. Even the oppositions are aware. Those who wants to bring change, to bring the different versions of what we are having now. How many of them do have website here that you can go to find detailed information about their agenda, about their platform? Everything is just coming out because they are fluent in English. They have the command in the English language. Where can you go to find the information to tell you this is what you should hold me to? Or where is the active page that you can really go, any information that you can look for? You don't even have to ask anybody. People don't even know their numbers. They behave the same way like the authority. You have to call 555%. Okay, we will let him know. You always, the tail man, you can't, they always have middle people. You want to be leader and you kind of put yourself, you put yourself in the corridor. Let me just, you put yourself in the corridor. I think that is not fair. That is not fair. And we need to have this sort of discussion. If we are to have a better country, I think we must all make sure that we cut it across. Just bear with me a little bit. I'm trying to make some adjustment here, and I'm not sure where this pair is not moving. But very shortly later, I'm going to be opening. I will open the line here. Let us take a deep breath. Let's take a review of our country, what it represents, and what we think should be happening. I don't think we are doing enough. These people, they are just in it for themselves. And it is unfortunate for those of you, it's good to take a side. You have the right, you are at liberty to do it. That's part of you as a human person, that is part of your constitutional authority. But for God's sake, you need to start asking some of these people here. You need to take a reflection to look at their past history, some of the things that they involved in before. How come they got there? Do you think they have come back to you to say, I am sorry, this is what I did? Because these people all in the past to create and bring monster to us. They raised these little lasers and they were raising alligators. Now the alligator has become full grown, is killing and eating the heck out of all of us. And so their own creation, they are running away from it. And they can't still even tell us to explain to tangibles why they did what they did to us. And some of you people, you support these things to the core. It is just amazing. You're defending to the letter. Even you saw the late Senator John McCain when he went on Capitol Hill and did that thumbs down. He is a born Republican, a war veteran who was tortured. He did not put the interests of the country, he did not put the interests of his party first. He puts the interest of the country and the constituents that he represents. He got out of his sick bed and he said, I believe he said to him, to literally, I'm trying to say here, my vote matters. And I need to go on Capitol Hill so that I will be heard. And you know, I know for those of you who are following it, he was in his end times, battling with cancer. But you know what? He's waking himself up and he said, for the good of the country, I want history. Let that legacy be there. These people here, what the legacy they have. So it's a little bit stupid. It doesn't make sense when we begin to hold one group of people. The Liberian form of government call for there are three branches of government. And these three branches must work simultaneously with different responsibilities so that the government can become more functional, that the laws of the land can be observed. We can put under the executive in the oven. If everybody to go in that oven to heat, then put it maybe on 360 degrees so that they will get cooked well. The executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, which happen to be the first branch of government. You in the Western world, when last you saw your lawmakers coming to you, I'm doing this and this. I was just monitoring one of the live stream of our guys, and the guy said he was using his personal money. When our correspondent pushed in, he said, "Oh yeah, government give me this percent." When the COVID hit, the local leaders, municipal leaders, city mayor, not to even mention the congressmen, there were robocall, there were telephone calls, people were making virtual conference. You can join and you listen and they tell you, these lawmakers, the COVID came. How many of them you saw going back to their roots, going back to their constituency to have a conversation about this COVID? How many of them incorporated any ideas from the people that represented them, the people that elected them for 9 or 6 years? How many of them did that? These people, if we don't stand up, for those of you who are so much in darling love with the things that they do, without you questioning, how do you expect the entrepreneurship in Liberia to grow? People with small businesses, how do you expect when all of the lawmakers, all of them, they have their own entity? So as the result, they award themselves contract. So you are struggling person there, you building a lay NGO that should provide services or other international organization to give contract. So in turn, you hire people because they're so greedy to the extent everything should be about themselves only then and then. And yet you guys have to facilitate this process to allow this thing to go on. And then when you come, you expect miracle to just unleash. So look, if we do not put ourselves together, it doesn't matter who is, and that's what I'm saying. In as much the policy of this government is terrible, lack of communication, they are not coming forward with information, is no different from the opposition. They have no plan as well. Because if they have one, we will begin to see it. They will begin to interpret it. They will begin to tell us it. But they're still in collaboration. The dating. One person close your eye and tell the other one, Joseph Boyka not trust Elekume not trust Joseph Boyka, not to mention Benana Yure, who is all in this strictly to protect his wealth. That I've said. And I've said that consistently because he knows he's not going to win election. But he's there strategically and politically to make sure whatever he has is contained, is maintained, and is alive. So wait a minute, why can't these people here, where is the change generation? So I feel so bad for some of our young folks who also have the skills to be able to take a leadership role, and they are still living in the fantasy land. They are still in the fantasy world. So they are killing us. They are killing us. How many of them after last election came out to say, this is how much I raised and this is what that was left? We can't ask them because when we want to ask them, you're the same people you tell us say that your own money. In fact, you didn't pay. You're not part of us, so don't ask. You see the sort of argument that is killing us, killing you yourself unknowingly? You give money to somebody. You say, yeah, I give it to him, I give it to her. They can't come back with anything as to how that money was used. So you have to nurture a monster that potentially going to be holding state power. And then at the end of the day, when they begin to eat all of us hair up, you're going to be the first victim. Because the guy is saying that can't eat his own baby. So you who facilitate that person, you're going to be the victim first. And then all of us suffers because of ignorance, because you fail to ask people. But we Liberians are so enticed with these cosmetic wars carefully crafted. They're not presenting anything. They just look in the air and they think there's some sort of magical wine going to take place. So it doesn't matter. If we were to call Barack Obama and Bill Clinton to be the president and vice president, as long as they're going to work with some of us, some Liberians, believe me or not, it's going to be a disaster because they're going to frustrate them. So you remember the date of Samuel Doe when they brought in the experts, the financial expert? What happened? They walked back because we do not want honesty. And I'm signing this line again on this 174th Independence Anniversary. For those of you, these people you're supporting, and you're unable to ask them questions because you're so much, your belly button is tied to them. You don't want to ask them questions so they can't feedback. You ask them questions, you support them today when they did. After 2-3 days, when something is uncertain, you want to ask them questions, they curse you, they block you. But yet, you still give them kudos. So your actions you're doing is all killing us. It's killing us. They come to power, they become senators, they become representatives, no plan. You must have an agenda. If you are there for 19 or 9 years, 6 years, there must be some sort of role model. There must be some sort of footprint. There must be something that you will not necessarily have to achieve, but maybe tell us something. Show us where we can go get it. You ask them, they get mad. They turn loose like a cannon. And they tell us the other people doing it the other time, yeah, we're not doing it. So it becomes a vicious cycle. Yes, it happened in Helen Johnson's time. Yes, it happened in Bamangbo time. Yes, it happened in Julie Bryant time. Yes, it happened in Helen Johnson Sally and the 5-man Council of State, Rosanna Perry, Charles Gange Taylor, Moses Bly, and the list goes on. The presidents, they are so plenty we can't even remember them. Then you go back, you tell us to go back. And then some of them will begin to recollect, to process that. Hey, man, you can't remember so time? Where you say? The reality of is today. These things were bad, and that's why the people elected you. So what are you doing to fix it? You're going to bang on, you're going to live on the bad policy as well? Why these lawmakers, why they can't even come together? Let's assume or let's know some of the things that are going on in the executive. They are kind of cocky, and we all know that. But when will we see these people come together as a people that represent the country, regardless of which party they came from, and come together and say, hey, Mr. President, hey, Mr. So thing, we need to have a conversation about our country. Let's put aside being a Liberty Party, this and that. These political parties, in fact, they are social clubs. They are not political party. The party don't even have, most of them don't have headquarters. They don't have anybody there that you can talk to and you make a phone call. Their offices are all there because their leaders, they build them in such a way it centers around only the hair. So as the result, when the hair fades away, The party is dead. Where is NDP today? Why you think these people are flying from one party to another party? Or they are opportunists, grievance seeker. They don't do anything. They don't fix anything. They are unable, either two things. They are either unable or they just lack the will of fixing it. Very indisciplined, very intolerant politicians we have in our country, including advocates, including radio hosts. Fire, don't put a fire. You must exercise that political tolerance if you want to lead. You have to listen to the people. People are so arrogant, so desperate for power. We know them. If they're arguing for you, they're not arguing, they're not fighting my fight. They are fighting their own fight. And I can fight my own fight. 2023 is around again. Anything that just come on here, it become automatic. They want to not win the election. They want to win the election. That's not it. There is still time. When I see people who are trying to position themselves, and the reason that will become more critical on the opposition because they are looking for state power. It's better for them to answer all of the questions that we have now than to get there than sooner or later, because we did not get these answers the last time around from the ruling party right now. We did not have that enough conversation. So a lot of things, lighting went that kind of way away. So we need to ask that questions. All these questions needs to be answered. And you yourself have to facilitate those questions as well. But apparently, so we are in a crack kingdom world. 11 coalitions call themselves Rainbow. Is there a rainbow hanging over Liberia? 3 or 4 put together collaboration. Where is the collaboration? When one of their own, you don't collaborate and you try to alienate the other person that you want them to collaborate with you. That's why it's happening. You call him a one-side stranger. He is not one of us. He's not with us. He's not our type. You put that person in a basket of deplorables, so say it Hillary Clinton, that heard of, by the way, during that fundraiser in New York. And then you say you want to collaborate with me? I get a boss eye, and you telling me say my eye boss, and you say you and myself can form collaboration. The collaboration must come pure. You must have a fine conversation. Leaders shouldn't take side. We're seeing what is happening now. How can that collaboration sustain? How can it sustain? Let somebody tell me. How can it sustain? Leaders must always play the leadership role. You must be the finite arbiter. You know, they got a saying that say in the countryside, I'm a country boy. My father was a paramount chief. You say, as an order of my person, don't rush to see the ugliness of the bamboo. When they say the bamboo is ugly already, when it hits the town, let the children rush to go see it. You, the other person, don't rush. But our people, they can be the first to go see the ugliness of the bamboo, the leaders. That's why they're taking side. They're not allowing the process to play out, or because they just do not trust one another. So how you think that collaboration going to work? How you think that collaboration going to work? Then where can I find that you are the right alternative? When you're not making sound, critical decision, when you can't even criticize and when you can't call out one of your own, when you provide full protection, FBI, CIA, federal agent, joint security will provide full protection simply because they are one of your own. So we need to take a reflection. We have to be serious. We don't want children Leadership is wisdom. It comes with responsibility, political tolerance, things that come. You can't be leader and you be so cocky and you think we don't even make you a leader. You're a child not born. You start breaking, you start chewing pakana. Like from B.I. Joseph. You start breaking your teeth now, almost like a modern elephant. So what happens when we make you a leader? No respect. You cuss people off. You abuse people. But again, this is who we are as a Liberian. And I remember vividly well during the heat of the civil crisis when a Western journalist reported that Liberia is heading in a direction like a vessel on the sea with an unknown technician. Can you afford to get on a vessel ferry? Can you get on a plane without a pilot and somebody say, okay, we're just going to remote it or whatever, or without flight attendants and stuff like that? So we just so quick. Little thing people tell us, it just enters our entire systems and we just come to a conclusion without even saying, oh, I need to take this thing to bear. I need to give you a second thought. Is this guy, is he honest? Let's see his past history. What went wrong down the road? We don't. So I laugh when I see all of these people. Yes, we're from Georgia. We are the CDC-led government. But see what is happening. People who wants to be alternative as well. Are they communicating with us effectively? Are they coming forth? Do we know what they are doing? Where can we find the information that we need to give us the assurance to hold them of their word that yes, he or she, we can hold them to responsible? When the leaders are the first now, they're coming forward, they're taking. So what they have done, they are persuade the process itself of lack of transparency. So what happens when things go wrong? You, the leader, you take side now. When things go wrong, who gonna fix it? Where are you gonna go to say it again, to have a conversation, to recollect the pieces and the puzzles and put them together? The children should be the one to be talking that. But you come down now, I go in with Boyka, I go in with Kume. Boyka can't win. They 1 year not stranger. They one was not here. He did not do this. When you decide to come together as a unit, you have to form that cohesiveness. Your thought becomes one. And out of that group, because that would be exemplary, so that people, some of us will see who think on the other side. You can't say a collaboration, okay, we're collaborating, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Everybody can still do what they're doing. You're simply telling me, they also the ruling established, Akara Gray can speak whenever he wants to speak. When Eugene Fagawa in minister in government, he can say anything when he wants to say. When the other person wants to say something, they can say anything. And so when they say it, and when it go ugly, you try to hold it and say, no, I was speaking as an individual, not for the government or not for this. So there is a uniqueness. There is something distinct if you want to take leadership. You have to capitalize on the areas of the other people and set yourself apart so that you will see, so that people will see, electors will see, that the country will see, wait a minute, this guy is somebody to watch for. All of these people that wants to be president, I'm placing emphasis on this because I don't want to be caught unaware. You know, there's an English word when they tell you that you should have known better, there is like, you want to go back in your mother womb and come by like, oh, what the heck? So, these people that want to take state power, what is their international link? When last we saw these people to sit to tell us about their agenda? If it doesn't spawn TV account or LPR account or hard FM, when will we see these people here? One of these days they come here, or even the PL, you can be anywhere to via satellite, via satellite, and yeah, they're still looking for Christmas. How you call it? 26 to sit with people that Wolf Blitzer, to sit with CBS, NBC, and communicate with the international world, the international community. We cannot survive by ourselves. The greater United States of America's partnership with all of the hair racking thing going on with China, there's still some sort of partnership. Bobby Warren, he has young if you go on YouTube, you see the major international cable news that these people here, that's where they do. When they start, they will never stop until they are something. They sit with this international cable news and present their agenda, because what you don't want to wait until you get there before you start making friends. That's what our people do. You need to start taking that path, visiting the European Union, because a politician must be a five-sector person, but they surround themselves with people that have no idea how to govern, either because they know them or whatever the reason. This is why you always have to have professionals around you to guide you, to guide the process, to guide you. I want to see our people come here to be the oppositions or government. I want to see them visiting the U.S. Talking with state departments, human rights organizations, international organizations, paying courtesy call on them. Look, I have interest in the Republic of Liberia. Liberia is a signatory, if you don't, and if not all time, 99% of international organizations. So what the heck is stopping you? Some of these serious opposition countries, they have envoys at the European Union. They have spokesperson. None of them. They don't have any. Anybody wake up from bed soon the morning, they come, they cause, they say, we're not do that, and everybody go there, hey. So when you do that, you think the people are going to take you serious? So you leave these people with apprehension that, wait a minute, even though this process that we have is not good, it's terrible, it's bad, it's not working for the Liberian people. But see this other group of people who also want to come in, their talking point, their argument, the lack of political tolerance. So then they feel reluctant. How many of our oppositions who really mean business and they knowing full well things not happening, we need justice. People die for different reasons, or we hear accusations about other people come up with definitive fact. We yet to see those facts. How many of our national political leaders have made representation with the ECOWAS to see them fly to Abuja and see them having a conversation on this issue? When they do their letter, throw it on front page and they think it's sufficient, or call people and show all the cameras, because they love so much of cameras. They like being before the camera. They think it's sufficient. People don't run government on social media. You see here, most of the time, the people tweet. They do this when it becomes necessary to communicate with the broader spectrum. They call all day from Monday to Sunday. They call endless press conferences without any specific reasons of the conference, without answering any of the questions. They call them and they say, you got only two person can ask questions. When they finish, then they run them out. That didn't want a whole town hall meeting. The entire process needs to be overhauled. If we are to excel as a country, as a nation. We are not having a conversation now. Nobody is telling me how they're going to downsize government. They're just going to raise it. We'll raise this budget. Okay, how? What is the method that you're going to use? CDC get a battle cry. Opposition who looking for something, they created their own battle cry. That simply suggests to me they also want to increase the size of government. And I'm not in favor of that. You think people are behind you, they lie to you. I just doing it for the librarian. You're not doing no damn thing for librarian people. You're doing it for yourself. You think they want to get backpack and chanting, yelling all day? Yes. They saw it works within the CDC. Jefferson Koji now is the city mayor. So Baron, what they call it, Solidarity Brigade. So he knows when things happen down the road, maybe you will go as deputy managing director for operation MPA or the Liberian Petroleum Refining Company. So there is nothing suggesting or telling me that you're going to do everything possible to downsize. Nobody talking about how they're going to come. Some of these ministry functions almost similar. Nobody saying anything how the plans they have to condense those ministry in order to bring savings to the government. They don't. Oh, is it a society or that son of Bush society? Bush, you still have. You're waiting until you get on the airflow before you tell us. No. You need to tell us now, because we're going to ask you how it's going to be done. How it's going to be done. The method that you're going to apply. We need to start hearing some of the people that perhaps that you think you bring to government will change the narrative. But believe me, people, whatever happens, we saw what happens. The people that were in the opposition with CDC's one, what happened? Drove. They crossed over to they left their party. They never had a second thought, where did we go wrong? What we didn't do that got us to be where we are today. Do we need to take a little bit deep breath to revisit, to look at some of the things that we did that the Liberian people didn't like? No, because they don't want hard time. They jump over to go to where the gravy is. So when they're sitting down, they're talking, it is you people a tricker. It doesn't trick some of us, because we know these people, they do not believe in building and sustaining institutions. They want quick fix, quick solution. And the quick men get a short-term and a long-term goal. They don't have their own. They want to do it quick. Oh, okay, I was a party chairman. Did I take a tour through all of the county? Did I explain my standard barrier agenda? Did I put forward the party manifesto? Was I a little bit patient? Or why are you having a town hall meeting and the car engine is running because you want to go? Were we organized to get this thing done? Where we slept? What we should have done, we didn't do it. We didn't do. These are questions, these are rhetorical questions you need to be asking yourself, but they don't. After that, they say bye-bye, are gone. When the party come back tomorrow, then they go to higher up to talk to these people again, then they come back. So the bad ideas, their bad behaviors, their crooked behaviors, their dishonesty, lack of integrity, then they bring it to the ruling establishment. And then when it comes, it becomes like a virus, it infects everybody. Then the whole system gets polluted. That's what we are having. That's the problem we are having today. That's the problem we are having today. And it goes back to these parties I was talking about. Did NDP felt that Samuel Doe were going to be the only face of the National Democratic Party of Liberia without them having a second thought that we need to have an alternative? Oh, wait a minute. The National Patriotic Party, was there any contingency plan that one day Charles Taylor will be out of here? You know, anything can happen in life. Should we begin to train? Should we begin to get the face of this party? Helen Johnson Sirleaf left Unity Party. Was there anybody that Helen Johnson Sirleaf, knowing full well that she want to go to first turn, second turn? Every ruling party wants to be in the governing stage. Was there any enough that the Unity Party did that after Helen Johnson Sirleaf, we're going to put forward a generational change, or going to bring somebody to go to be the new face to restructure, to continue the legacy of the party. Was that anything that happened? She came to New York and said they wanted a generational change. So right there out front, I knew Boyka OUT, he was out. So that comes into this reality. The ruling establishment, like we're hearing, the ICDC, of course, anybody with a seat you want to go for the long years. I very suddenly, most people always want to go for second term. The second term, it will come eventually. It doesn't matter how long it takes. But are there plans? Are they preparing somebody to undertake leadership role even after George Weah, if he's to be elected for the second term? Do they have that person? Do we need to know that person? Who is that person? What he or she is doing now? ALP, how long Banana Uriel been there? He who created A will die with A, correct? Is that the kind of society that we want? You don't give opportunity to other people to showcase. If that was the case, Barack Obama won't be a president here, the first black president. He was given the opportunity one time when he spoke at that convention, and that was a pivotal movement. When we're going to see all of these people here. So I feel bad for people, my friend George Loboden, to still sit down and they still say they are pushing Joseph Biden. So when will you be senator? When will you? Are you not fit to be a president? Oh yeah, so want to sit down on old Ma and plot new Ma. What that old Ma has done that you want to plot a new one now? This is why, because they do not want to. They do not want to welcome new generation, new breed. So they are stuck. It's stuck in their hair until that person die. Then everything go away. That's how we have the broken system in the country. When Barack Obama spoke at that convention, that was the turning point. And you know, I know, in this country, nearly every election cycle, you will always hear the new arising start of the Democratic Party, the new arising start of the Republican Party. You will always see that because time are involved. And so changes must occur. But we are stuck in our hair to the extent that this person here, without this person, we can't do anything. Even if they're acting crazy, we're still dying with them. And some of us are not prepared to die with people. You and myself, we wasn't born together, so in the first place, we can't go together. You find your own date. My own date is destined. God going to give it. They have to be honest. People raising endless money, giving it to people, no accountability. We trust you. Go ahead. Do it. Anything you say, die. When you go talk, your money not inside. We pay the money that our business. Yeah, that our business now. You're doing it now. The person is not in government. So tomorrow when they become senator, they become representative, then you want them to be accountable? It's not going to work because you already built that in them, so they have that to the back of their mind. You know what, other people, that leash, we can suck them, then they don't care. Let me open the line here and for a few minutes, and we're going to have that conversation. Opposition, no freaking plan. They're not doing anything different from what this government is doing. And I can say it. And I'm ready to go on that debate with anybody. Where is the tangibles? Where is it? They took part in the election. Heavy funds were raised. Nobody declared anything. Nobody know what was raised. Nobody know what was left over. They don't even have a website. You have to be prepared. You have to position yourself differently. When you accuse somebody of not doing something, you have to put yourself in that situation that people will build trust and confidence. But they come and lie. Every other day, they lie and they give justification. So Mr. X lied yesterday, someone will lie now. What it means? Is that I'm not going to listen to that crap. Because all of you are the same. You have to structure what we have today. You walk away. We yet to know the details for which you walk away. So if I were you, if I have to make something and I walk back, I might even ask for what? Maybe instead of 5, I will ask for maybe 6 cents and take my own time to make the case why I decided to leave and to persuade people to have that conversation, to be tolerant. Or you're throwing tantrum here for no reason, and you'll say you want to be leader too. So why should I make you representative? Why should I make you a president when you lack that political temperament? When you can flip up in the twinkle of an eye and then the next day you come apologize, you know what we're here for? Babies are not politicians. If you're a toddler, farm bottle. Maybe needle can help you and you grow big up and then you come. But these people you're continuing to support and you're unable to ask them the question. The only thing you say, you give justifications of their actions, defend them to the court of a ballot voting. It's ridiculous. It is what has driven our country to be where we are today. I challenge you. Protest. I want to protest where we cut down the 9 years. One man being senator for 9 years. And even after the 9 years, they still want to contest. All the people want to protest, I challenge you. I will, if that sort of protest come, I will be the one to lead that protest too. Everybody get representative, lawmaker, they all get project. No disclosure to where their funds coming from. So then how can you check the executive branch of government? You're doing the same thing. Oh, okay, so the people doing it, you're doing it. So then don't talk. Then do not talk. You're in the States here. How many times you see your senator, when you see them going somewhere, they do either they call them for dedication. But to say this senator have this, when they have it, they have other people that manage it. They manage the affairs of that of that organization or whatever foundation. But our people, they're so greedy. They want to be senator, they want to be board chairman, they want to be this, they want to. So how do you create job opportunity for the people? Or they might just be behind the open car door and give them a little $1.10. Then they finish the comments, speak all their adjectives like disconnected, connected one, throw all of them, then everybody, yeah, hey. They're all doing the same thing. They all, no exception. They all. And it's just all for themselves. You have a National Rehabilitation Commission that aids the institutions of government. Let us agree and disagree. But that institution must be empowered and it must work effectively. But all of the lawmakers that get rehabilitation center now, where are they getting the resources? You think rehabilitation center, is that something you're going to have overnight? You need to have doctors, clinicians, and different people, counselors, and all of that. What happens after your 6-9 years when you're no longer senator? How are we going to do? So we're going to have another bidding where there's going to be a taller house for people. How do you pay? How do you get your people? This is why these institutions, when they are there, they are either supervised by government and they find international organization, or you find few people here, USA, Europe, other places, all over the place, go from cash out. That's how you're going to support. That's how you're going to get a clinician, a doctor, professional people to run this institution. These lawmakers, they need to go back for our generation to be restructured and remade. The National Rehabilitation Commission must be restructured. They must do everything possible to provide the resources for it, because you know what? It is the arm of government that has the authority to make sure that they have that international contact to do everything. You think they're stupid? They're going to get you something? Only your people, your followers, they who don't get nothing. That was sometimes, the Republican, they don't get vest. because they stimulus then came, so it was just crazy. People giving people money without then asking question how they're going to use it because they love these people so much. Guys, come on. They don't even ask. They don't make report. They just tell them, okay, we say 100 bad, we do this, and that's it. When you pay due, you are entitled to an official copy of a financial record. Look, I am not a donkey, and I will never be a donkey. So if people ride on your back, I'm not going to be one of those donkeys that people are going to get no. That time is over. I can't. This country, 174. Just sit down. And you just think election that's a play thing and win it in your mouth. Don't produce tangible. Don't sit and have an honest conversation. Don't get glued to the people and know what is happening. And sit down. When you have 10,000 people looking, that it does not translate into vote. The challenge is that when you talk to ordinary Liberian, you talk to people, there's a different sense of feelings that you gather. So if you don't put your acts together, forget it. You form collaborations and you call in other people's names and you say you form a collaboration. Who does that? And you don't want to be open, you're not transparent in the process, you already took side before even the process started. So what made you think that person, their owner, people not telling them, what made you think they're not having a backup plan? Another one, people liberation what? Party? Is that a PLO in Mozambique? They're living from one party to another party, from party to party. And that's why we have that. It is all of they are looking for political accommodation. That's the bottom line. Seeking, throwing unnecessary tensions so that they will be picked in the eyes of people to say, oh, this guy is a factor. Why these people did not stay? Why they didn't do anything to help their parties, their various parties to survive? What about the fair shot? Folks, our country has come a long way. And the survival of that country is contingent upon you and myself. The government will do a part, will hold them responsible, but you as a citizen, we also have shared responsibility to make sure that we are honest. Our people, when they do it wrong, you gotta take them to the slaughterhouse or even admit. They don't even see these people here when there's anything. But again, poverty get us to be where we are. Because when a state official lie here to the media industry in this country, they will storm your house. It can't even go more than 72 hours. There will be, politicians are already defiant. That is natural. But it will come a time, they will get aware. I'm ashamed, my wife and myself, we apologize. They will say it. But how many of our people, when they apologize for one thing, then they hold another thing? You want to be dog, be dog. You want to be cat, be cat. Don't be dog cat. Our politicians, they are not honest in there. They are not honest. They are not. And so you, the electorates, if we not make wise of the microphone and just think a conspiracy going to get us, no way. After George Weah, we'll come back to the same old thing and we'll start talking again. We'll come back because we are not being strategic. We do not have the country at heart, and it's all about ourselves. I think I'm going to put a number out here in 5 minutes for us to see it and get some reaction. But hey, that's my opinion. That's my view. It is about our country, and we have to do everything. We can't let people to just come here and do something here. So let me just break into Ambassador Adam Cavan. We shall rise again from the hands of these dishonest politicians, And people claim to be advocates or whatever they are. Everybody, nobody, we're going to let them go. Let's have this music at a bit.
You shall once again become the light. You shall once again become the light of Africa. You shall once again become the light. You shall once again become the light of Africa. You shall eat the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land. Hey, you shall eat the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land, the fruit of your land. Hey, and never will you be strangers in your land, strangers in your land, strangers in your land. Oh, hell, I be right here, mama. Oh, Liberia, God says you are under rise. If only we shall hearken to his command. It is then that we shall rise, we shall pursue, we shall overtake, and we shall conquer all of our adversaries, and we shall shout at last, the Lone Star forever, the Lone Star forever. Oh, long may it flow o'er land and o'er sea. This journey, Lord, never uphold it forever. And shout for the Lone Star battle. Oh, hell, let me hear him, mama.
All right, folks, our boutique must be coming to an end. I'm going to put a number out there. That's Ambassador Carvin making a contribution here, adding her golden voice as we observe the 174th Independence Anniversary. Let's welcome our brother from our sister network, Kev Hassan. Let me tell you, I can, Kev the man. I hope your son is doing well. And from us here at LPR and all of you good people, Liberians, wherever you are, we say happy Independence Anniversary. We all are on an obligation to make sure that our country is okay. And I got a few more minutes here. Let me just put this number here just in case. I want you to make a prophecy on what our country, to what you feel as a Liberian, and what you think we can do. I just have a few more minutes here to go here. But I just feel that we have this sort of talking point because we're sick and tired with these people, their behavior. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We got to hold everybody. Everybody must be held up. But we become more selective. Let's hold this person. We shouldn't hold this person. Then it's unfair. And that's the situation. That's the problem that we are in. So, as we observe the 174th independence anniversary of the motherland, let me go to this number here, 612 number here, and let's have a little quick talk here. Tai Koratai, good afternoon. Happy Independence Day.
Yeah, seems to you, Mr. So.
Okay.
Happy Independence Day.
Yeah. All right. I know Sonny, I've been sounding a little bit crazy here, but hey, that's the feelings, and I just feel some of these things we gotta get it out of our chest. What's your thought?
Yeah, it's you said it all well, and I think that if the Liberians are listening, they need to copy and put, and paste. What I'm thinking on to is similar to what you said, and I think that our people, our politicians have already failed us. Now, looking at the Liberian politicians are very sycophantic and hypocritical. All right, like these few days, people, the opposition just play around. Darius didn't lie, and the money he left the country when the coronavirus was severe. He came to America and lied on his own plane ticket.
Which, of course, he had no business of lying.
Yeah, he had.
So I don't even know why people are blaming Borky. Say the man say like you lie. There's nothing about it. It's superior.
Yeah, and the deceiving part about it is that he himself went and posted his own ticket.
Right.
Right. And what happened was that the opposition just swept that under the rug and distracted everybody to focus on Maggie. Now, I am wholly, I know that Maggie and stealing, we all know these people are stealing the country money. It's clear, it's sure. But why can't we discuss the senator who just happened to be the light that over 200,000 people made them to vote for him as he told everybody that he would be the light, he would expose every hidden thing, he would tell the Liberian people everything that's going on in the house, which he did not do. He sat down there, allowed the people to put this exorbitant money into the budget, collected the money, and came out to the public and said, oh, and tried to pretend as if he didn't know about it. Those were all deception. Then later on, fly to America, and all of that. I think that should have been the issue. I also think the opposition should have called him up, lashed at him sufficiently before
they don't do it, and that's the frustration. The people protect, all of them protect their own, so that's what makes it a challenge. They don't do it.
You see, so what do we expect in 2023? Do we expect a CPP that protects corruption, that shades corruption, and because they want power, so they will lash on the ruling establishment, expose, create propaganda against them. And since they can't fight the propaganda properly because they're not mature enough and they also stealing, so as a result, everybody lash on them. And then we go back to the ballot box and vote a bunch of corrupt people. Is that the cycle that Liberia is going to be in continuously? So,
I think we need to talk to Jeff Bezos instead of that. How do you call it? Virgin Blue or whatever to see whether we can debit Liberia to him. Probably that's what we have because it's so, and that's why you say, and that's the same thing. The seditions protect their own. The opposition does the same thing. So what is the difference? And then he tries to get at a front page as a front page, and because I brought Lennon Doruya, you put it out there. When you write, what wrong with that? It's your whatever who gave it. That's okay. I know it's 11 hours plus from Ghana here, which is everybody want to go to the first class to relax. Cool. They ask you, yes, I upgrade. Those things pop up anytime, even when you're flying locally. People want you go your first class, you drink a little wine and stuff. Sometimes by the time you go low, when the plane descending, that's when you know. So what is the big deal? And because those little things, they add up. Now you making us to say there are a lot of unknowns that we do not know, because if you can be honest with us, there is a problem. And that's the same thing the ruling establishment to the struggle from. And part of that is because they do not have a strong communication thing. And these people, they act like they know so much. They need people around them to guide them.
Definitely.
They need people around them to guide them, to supervise their activities. Seems like they're behaving like a toddlers. They need people to supervise their activities. And that is very, very, very much important. So right now, no class, I think most of the classes suspended because that's part of it. So but it is what it is. We can't give up or we talk to them, but we just be frank and bold. Who does
Yeah,
it? If the CDC people do it wrong, we say opposition do it wrong. We're not going to be selective, and that's why most of them that they do not like to come here, because sometimes when we extend an invitation, they either want pre-arranged questions. I'm going to have a conversation with you. Question might be generated in our conversation. So why should I pull rope and brown my neck? You want to come? Come. You don't want to come? Don't come. This is not a ERTV Shaman Brown. No, those days are gone.
Maybe what they're waiting for is the election period to come on your platform, because I think
I will be happy.
You're going to get every one of them coming to talk about how they're going to do this and do that and do the other.
Oh man,
that is the scenario.
I'm putting the diary together. I will be happy. That's going to be a huge good talking point. All right, my man. Okay, thank you so much. All right, well, folks, it is what it is. Let us pray for our country. We need people that have the fear of God, people with integrity, honesty. But on a serious note, that 9 years is just ridiculous. 9 years. So when my own son or daughter will have the opportunity, when your daughter or son, is anybody taking a thought on that? 9 years. We have to revisit that. Because of that length of time, that will make them to be like a loose cannon. Because after the 9 years, they're going to even seek re-election, that I can guarantee. And they will potentially win. So when one man stays there for 18 years, when will it be your time? All right, guys. Today is Independence. We wish our country well, the president and the people of the Republic of Liberia, the gallant men and women of the armed forces of Liberia. We wish them well. We will have our political differences, but we'll always create a tone of civility to where we'll be able to sort out and be able to find the pieces and to see how we can move our country forward. It's all about the country. I don't care who is the president, but I want people need a God fearing, God said, because I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Now, when I watch some of the footage, these footages are coming from Liberia with Kwame Opa weeks of Lena, they are so troubling, so tormenting, so heartbreaking. And these people recently, the lawmaker, $30,000. They rushed themselves. It reminds me when our income Waterloo refugee camp, when UNHCR come, they gave us starfish, they gave us beans, they gave us this. That's what they did to us. They calculatively, politically, deliberately, on purpose, put that money there. And the worst scenarios, there was no conversations held with their constituents. They never told them anything. I challenge anybody. When lies they ever had that conversations prior to that money being allotted to them before even receiving it? That yes, at some point in time, I will get 15,000, or I'm going to get 30,000. What can the community do? No plan, no agenda. Yes, they are our leaders. So help me God. The COVID, from the inception, we see them going around to create an awareness. No. The victims have become the victors, and the victors have become the victim. The people elected them, they turn their back. They will only return home like a prodigal son comes 2023 when they are seeking to. For those who just got elected, leave your own with God. Folks, have a pleasant day. The Lord will fix it for us. Let me see here. Okay, just
He can say something that no one can face. He can turn your sorrow into joy. Show
I'm Isaac Zawalo. I am an instructor here at the Arlington Career Center. I'm an instructor of mathematics. Mostly I teach the dual enrollment math classes for the Arlington Career Center. I've been here in Arlington for about 16 years. I originally come from Liberia, a small country on the west coast of Africa. It was established by free slaves from the United States. In Liberia, I'm involved with a series of educational projects. I own 2 schools, an elementary school in the capital city, Monrovia, and a secondary school about 40 kilometers outside of Monrovia in a little town where I grew up called Kakata. Well, the secondary school is called Giddings Polytechnic Academy. It's located about 40 kilometers outside of Monrovia.
Now, what makes Giddings Polytechnic Academy to be the best school is that at the Giddings Polytechnic Academy, we are introduced to elective such as drafting, nursing, business, journalism and creative writing, and agriculture. That's not all. We are also having a free access to the internet, and we are also introduced to ICT, that is the information communication technology.
The school is changing lives. Our parents are coming to the school and they are telling us, one, our teachers are consistently in class. Our students, the school is fenced, so our students remain on campus for the most of the day. The level of instruction, I've been told, is at the highest possible level for Liberia. In fact, it is projected that our enrollment will increase from 230 to about 500 for the next academic year. We are seeking help when it comes to technology, as I indicated. Any kind of resources that will help students to do better, textbooks, use textbooks, anything that will help ease the situation of our students, anything will be appreciated. No, I look forward to seeing a relationship being built between the school in Liberia and our community here in Arlington. I consider Arlington my second home, and so I would want to see my 2 homes connecting.
All right, there you have it. That's our own Professor Asese Labozawo. He's a senior analyst of Liberia Public Radio, giving back to his country. And that's an extraordinary journey to helping this guy. He's so awesome. Well, a couple of years ago, out of his own volition, went back to mentor, to teach, prepare teachers in our young generation for the wire. And he did extraordinary work. He running 2 schools in Liberia. So at some point in time, we are asking for the information to tell our folks, to reach out to give donation. Yeah, to help. These are causes. These are water causes. These are things that when you do, it can be accounted for. It's concrete. It's not abstract. You start giving to things that are abstract that you can never see. So we're going to find time to have a conversation with Professor Zawalo as well, and his initiative. 2 schools. One is in Monrovia, I believe elementary, and the other one is in Kakata. Here, and so we're going to be getting all of the information needed, hopefully, and then we're going to put that out. Well, folks, on this Independence Day, we want to say happy Independence Day to Mama Liberia. That's the country that is the only country that, whatever the case, that's the only land that we have. We will do everything possible we can to protect it, to save it. We say happy Independence anniversary to the people, the president, and the people of the Republic of Liberia. And may this new age, Father, we never prayed before, get to some people tonight, the dishonesty, the deception in them. Let him undo it as we enter the new age of our country. Until then, folks, I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. This is how we're going to be bringing the curtain down here this beautiful Thai afternoon here. But John, the most liberal on this network from Saxtown, Sacramento, Samson Brown told he will be here this evening. Conversation with Samson told. Until then, I'm Alfonso Z and Sort, and have a pleasant evening.
And never want to lose to the floor. Oh, hell, Liberia, hell, Mama land. Mama land. Oh, hell, Mama land. Oh, bless Liberia, bless Mama land. Mama land.
All right, thank you so much, and have a pleasant day. And by God's willing, same time, same stations, we're going to be here for more programming, news, information, and entertainment. Have a pleasant. If you are in Liberia, please, it's a holiday. Don't drink to the extent that you can help yourself. Make sure the life you save will be your own or that of a friend. Drive with care. Don't let the independence drive you nuts and to become terrible. God forbid that's not going to happen. But please, for those of you, drive safely, take it easy, reach home safely. And even those of us here in the US, the virus is still real. Do everything possibly you can. If you have not taken your COVID vaccine, take it. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart, let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a
everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. This on the state, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making into promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days, money in your pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are gonna eat though? Yeah, so something we waiting on. Yeah, so waiting we happy on. They don't really care about you. They don't care, my people, it's true. They don't want to see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction. Leaders I barely many mentions. We don't know where the money come from. Attention, corruptions. Why nobody asks the question? They need to be in detention. 40 in our nation. Think about the children, think about the future. Whoa, think about the families, what they're gonna eat though. Yeah, so, oh, yeah, so. Something I'm working on. Plenty of the children know.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.